welcome to Real Talk, episode 52. I'm Todd, this is AJ.
Yo.
And we're back.
Better than ever, guys. This is our slogan now.
Hey.
We're going to put on a shirt.
We are better.
We're going to buy it, and you're not.
Why would we do that? So, if you're new to Real Talk, you've probably already turned it off. But if you're a regular viewer, hey, we're excited to be here with you guys. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Absolutely wonderful.
And here we are.
Here we are.
So we're excited to be here. What's Real Talk? Real Talk is an opportunity to talk about God, life, the Bible, and everything in between. Up above, is it above?
Above.
You're going to see a link, www.theremnant.live/real-talk. Click the link. It's going to pull up a form fillable box. You type a question or a topic in, hit submit. Goes into a database completely anonymously. We have answered over 1,000 questions.
1,000.
And it's pretty amazing. So we don't promise to have all the answers, but we do promise to take them seriously, tackle those things, the ones that are serious, that is.
Yes.
And, create a dialogue. A lot of times people feel uncomfortable asking certain questions in a church or to your pastor, which, isn't always their fault. It's just we feel uncomfortable with certain topics. So sometimes it makes people feel a little more comfortable to have a way to do that anonymously. In fact, we have one like that today that we're going to tackle.
I'm excited.
We took a quick look. We don't plan our answers to these. Maybe we should. But we try to keep it like it's an actual dialogue instead of just prepping for everything. Although maybe we should start doing that. That being said, that's the gist of Real Talk. Mm-hmm. Have we been putting the other link up there? I don't know if we have another link up there.
I think sometimes.
If you want to join our we had issues with that.
Yeah, one time.
Well, if you want to join our ministry and partner with us financially, man, you'd be blessing us a lot. www.theremnant.live/give. You can give from your phone, one time or reoccurring. Any little bit helps and keeps us here.
That's right.
We'll keep coming.
Doing our thing.
So that's the gist of it. 52 episodes in, probably a few more, because early on we filmed. Funny story, we filmed an entire episode one time, 45 minutes, and it wasn't filming.
Nope, was not filming.
That was early on.
Yeah, that was
we were very happy.
Yeah.
So we also have, I've been saying this for a while. We're kind of up in the air about this. So you know what? We'll see if anyone's paying attention. We have a blooper video, behind the scenes, cut. Primarily, it's only probably first through maybe 20 episodes. Yeah. We should. It's kind of sad because I don't know if we really have the footage like we used to make new ones.
Not as much.
Because they would be funny.
Yeah, there's not as much.
We probably have some today. That being said, intern Clint's going, we do. We have a blooper video. It's already cut. Kenny T.
That's right.
He put it together. 15 minutes of action. But we're up in the air about it. Mm-hmm. Would anybody even watch that? So if you guys want to see our blooper video get released, give us a comment below. If we get 5 comments saying, okay, don't just comment that you want the blooper video because we like when you have the dialogue with us. It really encourages us. But 5 comments saying, drop the vid.
Drop the vid.
We'll do it.
And we'll drop it.
Intern Clint, he's up in the air. He's nodding. He's kind of a guy that's like, listen, this is social media. It's not. So we do a lot of things that he's going.
Mm-hmm.
But that's who we are.
That's right.
So if you want to see that, go ahead and let us know.
That's right. Drop that comment. Drop the vid.
Drop the vid. Yeah. All right. So we like to start our videos off just kind of catching you guys up on how our life's going. Sometimes that actually takes the whole time. Sometimes it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So how's your day been? Your week? So I have a lot of congestion going on again. I've got Kenny T out searching the city.
Searching the city.
For some medication. Hopefully he comes back. He has my car.
He's on a mission.
Yeah. Anyway.
My week. So we've been doing a lot of different groups lately. So, just to give people an idea what my week looks like, we have...
People are going to be like, stop it, AJ.
So we have... Monday is an off day. I usually go spend time with my girlfriend, Hannah. Tuesdays, we're doing this, recording. And I actually also have, I think we've mentioned before, we have a group called Lionheart where we have a big group meeting, then we have small group meetings every week. So I usually try to do my Lionheart meetings on Tuesdays. Wednesdays are, let's see here, we have worship practice, and then we also have Real Talk Live on Thursday, and then we have life group on Friday. So
sometimes Lionheart leader meetings on Wednesdays too.
that's true. Leader meetings on Wednesdays, and then Saturdays. Every second Saturday of the month, we have Lionheart.
That's not this week though.
Is it?
No, it's the first, right?
Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, you scared me for a second.
So we have all these groups going on, all these things that I'm involved in, and sometimes when I take a step back and I look at it, I go, whoa, and I've been kind of in it for so long that I think I've adapted to it, like the idea of having all this stuff to do, but it's very interesting because I think one thing I've realized that I've struggled with for a while. So before I was saved, I didn't really talk to people about life like at all. It was very surface level, have fun here and there, but like nothing super deep, to the core, groundbreaking stuff, changing your life, whatever. So when I became a Christian, I still struggle with that, but I started to find a place where I could open up, whether that was to you guys or I'd open up in a group every once in a while, stuff like that. But one thing I've realized is I still struggle with big groups. When I am with a lot of people, I don't talk a lot.
Which would surprise a lot of people because you seem really outgoing.
Yes,
and all that. So it would probably shock a lot of people.
That's fair. And one thing that I've realized is, even though I've been a Christian for taking it serious for 2.5, I don't know how long, it's probably getting closer to 3 years now. I am still in that place of struggle when it comes to sharing with people in groups like that, or really just sharing in general. And I think it's interesting because I don't remember if I've talked about this before on Real Talk, the web series, or live, but I share my life a lot throughout the week. Whether that's, like I said, that's in the life group on Fridays, or here on the web series, or Thursday on the live. And it's interesting because it makes me, I think, it feels like I don't reflect as well because I'm constantly talking about life. And I think I personally get worried that I'm going to get caught up in this weird motion of I talk about, how my week's been 4 or 5 times a week, so how I guess I get scared it's gonna become diluted in the sense it's not as honest.
Just a thing you do.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I get worried about that, and it's just weird since I haven't even though talking to all you right now, or even if I'm talking to you guys on live, even in small closed groups, I still don't talk as much. So it's just very interesting. So that's what I've been thinking about, and I don't really have a conclusion. I don't know why or what to do, or how to even take steps. So that's just something I've thought about, and it hasn't made my week bad. It's more I think it's just a worry. I don't want that to happen.
Sure.
So that's just kind of where I've been at. But the weekend itself has been good. I'm just so blessed by this church, man. What was I doing? I was scrolling through old messages. I can't remember who it was with specific. Oh, it was Facebook. I was looking for something the other day, and I didn't find it, funny enough. But as I was scrolling through Facebook, looking at some of my old posts, because I used to post a lot more than I do now, I saw there was just some cool stuff, man. Me, posting verses, or me saying man, I love my church and all these things. I was like, man, why don't I do that anymore? So that was convicting, but it also just made me realize hey, man, I'm so blessed, and I have been since the beginning. So, so that's just kind of how my week's been. Yeah, just trying not to. There's a word. I know we had this last week where I was trying to think of a word. And that word was revelation.
That's a great. You need to go watch the first about 10 minutes
of 51. Man, I feel like there's a word I'm looking for, but I just don't know. I'm worried about it, but I wanted to use a different word other than worried, but I also don't know what that word is. So.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do this again. So. Yeah, I actually understand that, man. I think it's funny if you go back and watch really early episodes of this. We've talked about this, and at first I kept thinking, was it because this sounds so weird. We've talked about, was it because our chairs were facing each other more that it seemed more like a natural dialogue? Right. But I think part of it is what you probably said. I think we've done it a lot, and back then it was so, yes, we talked, but it was different, and so. I understand that. And, it's not anyone's fault, but we've also learned to keep things to a certain time limit. So when we have questions and things like that, everything seems like it has to fit in this box that we've created and we've learned, it needs to be this long because
Right.
whatever. So I think that's part of it too, because it's hard to be organic sometimes,
Yes.
even in these conversations.
Fabricated. That's the word.
I'm glad you thought of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes.
I'm glad you were listening to what I said too.
No,
so.
I was listening.
Welcome to Real Talk, where AJ never cares about my week. Watch a live episode, you'll see.
Gosh dang it. But yes, I agree though. Like, I don't want it to feel like it's forced.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense.
But how's your week?
You only said that because I brought it up.
You reminded me.
Exactly. Anyway, actually, you made me think of something and then I forgot it.
Sorry.
I mean, I was thinking earlier because I was listening to you, so I actually wasn't thinking about what I was going to say. Okay. So recently, I've been on a Facebook hiatus. You know this, which is ironic because here we are, Facebook, YouTube. My personal Facebook page has been on hiatus for over a year.
Yeah,
heading on
Probably
about a year and a half, something like that. Which is crazy, and it's funny, man, because I remember when I first did it. All right, I suppose I should tell you why. So I'm a very passionate person, for good and for bad. And on Facebook, two things. One, it really did make me more depressed. I was more negative. Part of it is you naturally compare yourself on Facebook. That's just how it is. And then secondly, although Facebook's kind of shifted away from more of the personal stuff to more just like memes and whatever. But one of the other reason is I'll see people share things, and I love to talk and debate, and as long as it's genuine, like people want to learn, and I don't like arguing with people that aren't open.
Right.
And I'll see these ridiculous things, and I used to get so frustrated, and I want to type to everything. So I was just like, man, I need to take a break from all this. And then after a while, you just get used to it. Like that being said, recently I've come back on primarily to just reach more people and hopefully encourage more people from my network.
That's right.
And it's been cool to kind of reconnect with some of my
absolutely
people from my hometown.
It's been very fruitful. You come back.
Yeah. So shout out to a few people that have popped on: Michelle, Kathy, Marie, Kyle. Some people that probably won't even see this, but I wanted them to know I appreciated them coming on. That being said, I got on yesterday for a brief moment, a little bit, to check some of this stuff for our church page, etc. And I ran across a guy that I was friends with. And I won't say his name just because I don't want people going and blowing him up. And I played football with him. I grew up with him. Another guy I've known since I moved here, so fourth grade. And just a good guy, man. And really sold out Christian now. And he became sort of sold out around the same time I began to get sold out. And I had stumbled across him. He's got a family. He's a firefighter, all these things. And I saw some posts, man. And he's just so sold out for Jesus. And it impacted me in a couple ways. One, and you actually noticed this yesterday, it turned the whole day around, man. And it's weird. I was like, man, I want to be, he's so hopeful. He shares truth and wisdom and encouragement in such a positive way.
Yeah.
He's not a pastor. He's not anything like that, like full-time vocational ministry. But here he is preaching and using his platform. And he's a well-known guy, well-liked, to just speak truth, man, and encourage and encourage me. I don't know how I stumbled on it. That being said, it convicted and encouraged me in a lot of ways. So mainly encouraged. So essentially, sometimes I can be jaded. We're in this town, and we love the church. I know we talk about we want it to be better, and I wouldn't say we criticize it, but only because we believe it's so much more than we let it be, right? Church with a capital C, including our church. We do the same thing to our church.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you get discouraged and people are tearing at you and other churches are competing and all these kinds of things, you sort of forget that, man, this world is filled with people that love Jesus and who are going hard for the kingdom and who are real and like get it, And man, just so cool to see that. And sort of the convicting part is like, Todd, you've got to stop thinking everyone. Sometimes it's easy to think because all you hear is from the negative people a lot, right? Most of the people you hear from are negative people, right? Let's be real. On social media and in life.
Yes.
Like, for instance, what do I mean by that? It's far easier to go up and criticize, tell someone you're upset, and more common than it is to go up and say, hi, I really like you. Nice hat, nice shirt. I really enjoy how you, like if I came up to you and go, hey man, I don't know you, right? I came up to you and go, dude, you just cut me off. That would be normal.
Right.
But if I came up and go, hey man, I just saw you interacting with that lady in the grocery store. I just want to tell you, I really appreciate how nice you are and like kind.
Mm-hmm. They'd be so weirded out.
Yeah, isn't so? All that to say, it was really cool. So shout out to him, Jake. I can say his first name because I'm not on. They can't find him. I'm not on social media. Jake, man. If in case you ever see this, you really encouraged me. We didn't talk. I didn't message him. Thought about doing it. But hey, man, just you never know. He probably threw those out. Probably never knew that it would reach me, his old high school friend. So that was really cool and pushed me to be like, man, encouraged me so much that I came in. I was hugging people. I was like, dude, the world's a good place. You know what? You saw it. I came in yesterday.
Yeah. I actually texted you.
Yeah.
That's an hey, man. I appreciate the hug.
Yeah. So that was cool, man. It was really, and it was so unexpected. I wasn't looking for it. It was just cool. I also listened to a sermon yesterday from, oh man, this is terrible. Tony Evans.
Okay.
The Kingdom Man
Kingdom
guy.
Man, that's right.
70 years old. So the video he had made that we watched, he was probably 15 years ago. He's a lot younger. His wife just died.
Really?
Recently. Yeah. Man. So this guy's up here preaching. And dude, she had apparently only died when this came out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And man, it was so fascinating. Like I'm sitting here and like I know me. I'd be crying as I'm talking about it. And all he did was point to Jesus using her life. And how like he used the verse where Paul talks about my life is being poured out like a drink offering. You know, I finished the race. I've fought the good fight. And he said, I've seen that. And he called her Sister Evans, his own wife. You know, I've seen that in her. I saw that in her life. And, man, it just got me thinking about 70 years of ministry. And, you know, we talk about this a lot. Life goes so fast.
Yes.
And I lately, you know, I bet you Tony Evans could remember, like yesterday, the day he met his wife. And then they have to say goodbye for a little while, right? Or see you soon, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then to see two things. One, that even to the very end, she was glorifying God in the stories he was saying. But also to Tony Evans, when he's hurting in his heart, still preaching the gospel and saying God is good. And reminding me in this moment, something I stumbled across. Actually from, it's weird how I go down rabbit holes. I came across it because there's a book out there called you'll find this interesting, Gay Girl, Good God. A woman who had been practicing homosexual life, girlfriend, everything, rejected it all, is married with kids.
Craziness.
Her husband and her.
Awesome.
It's cool, man. I went to their social media. I was like watching their interactions, and she admits, she had a dialogue with a practicing non-Christian lesbian. Mm-hmm. And that lady was trying to trap her. So you don't feel any feelings, you don't have any attraction to women anymore? And she goes, yes, I do. And she goes, anytime I have a dream like that or something like that of my ex-girlfriend, she goes, I tell my husband. And it's just cool, man. Like, she's got beautiful kids now, and like, she just kept pointing, and she's like, so do you call yourself a lesbian? She goes, no, I call myself a Christian. And she said, I'm not defined by my sexuality. I'm defined by my God. And, dude, considering I wasn't even looking for this. Anyway, right. So that was a random thing, right? I'm rambling, but that was so cool. And I like this black woman, not a pastor or anything. I'm on her. I don't even have Twitter, but I was reading it. You can look at it. And I was reading this lady's comments because I wanted to know more about her. And man, this woman's my sister, dude, and she's encouraging me and preaching to me. Right? We come from completely different backgrounds.
That's right.
And then because she put it up, and even what she said, I almost wish I had like screenshot it. Her, because she had shared it. This sermon I just told you about from Tony Evans, she shared it and said, "This impacted me. May I have an eternal mindset?" And then I was like, "Oh, okay." And that even as I'm watching, I'm like, God, you set this up. You wanted me to see this, because what are the odds, right? That I'm going to follow this to this to this.
Man.
So you know what? I guess as I'm talking to you about this, and you guys, my overarching thing I kind of got yesterday, which I haven't processed at all until this very moment, is I'm a part of a body that's so much bigger than I think. Mm-hmm. That's my sister. Jake's my brother. We're in different cities, in different places, at different times, all talking about the same God, and they're encouraging me, and they'll never probably know me. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, and man, what a beautiful thing.
So beautiful.
So I hope that we can, I sometimes hope that we reach someone like that and encourage someone.
Absolutely, man.
So it was a cool day, I guess, in a weird way, man. I was out in the car by myself, or you know me, in my car. sermons. I was out there for like over an hour. People pulled up to the church. So a couple people came to the window. I'm like, you okay? Just listen to the sermon. So
that's so awesome, man.
Because that was my off day yesterday as well.
Mm-hmm. I'm so happy for you, man. Like, because I know.
Thanks for asking, because I didn't put it together that there was an overarching lesson, right? Jake, different city. I haven't talked to you. Oh, what is her name? Jackie Hill Perry, I think is her name.
Oh, I've heard of Jackie Hill Perry.
Poet too.
Okay.
So Jackie Hill Perry, my sister. Tony Evans, my brother, and Father in the Spirit, right? It says that treat older man. All of them. 2 of them have never met me. Probably will never will. One of them, I hope to talk to him again.
Yeah.
And all 3 of them, it felt like I was a part of the body with them, right? Like
That's
a family.
So awesome.
So,
gosh,
yeah, man, it was cool, which I didn't know. Hey, thank you guys, because you gave me the opportunity to put that together.
That's right. And like, man,
what do I do with that?
That's so cool. And I'm so happy you had that chain of events happen to lead you to where you were, man. Because it's true, you were so it was awesome, dude. I could tell that Spirit was moving in you a lot.
Yeah.
And, it just reminds me of Paul, dude. Paul and him writing, and he was just so happy. Mm-hmm. He would write to these people I can't wait to see you guys. He was just Paul understood that what you literally just explained, people being in other places but still being brothers and sisters and just one big family. That's right. And he was just going around, man, and that was such a cool thing. So
yeah, it was really cool. Sometimes you can focus so much. I'm so sorry, guys, for that cough. I know that was probably really loud. I almost choked on my drink and spit it everywhere. So that's why I'm coughing. It was convicting too, man, because like we said, you hear a lot of the negativity.
Yes.
And I'm gonna be real with you. You can hear some of the wolves even in the Pharisaical people, especially for what we do. So when you hear or interact with a real a child of God, it's just an encouragement, and you can see and feel the Holy Spirit in them, and it just convicted me, man. I hope people still see that in me when I interact with him, that they still go, man, that guy, something's different, because I know there's a time that was true, and I hope I don't want to become jaded by the weight of leadership and things like that.
That's so good.
That I stopped being that guy, and I've told you the past few months, I've read my old journal when I was younger than you, so last year. And, okay, why'd you act like I'm 80? But, and seeing that guy whose heart just ached for the lost, and I think I told you, someone had an old video of me from just even 7 years ago.
That's right.
And they're like, man, you were so fun, and I was like, darn it. Part of it is the weight of leadership that I've carried now, but also it's I think I don't know, man. That guy hadn't been fully hurt by certain things, I think, which steals some of your joy.
I agree. That's kind of how I look at it too. And unfortunately for me, I carried something that happened to me when I was really young. I was a different person, and I feel like after that event happened in my life, I feel like a part of me died. Mm-hmm. It's weird, man. So I get that. It also made me think as you were talking about that, and what did I just say? It made me think as you were talking about all that. At least for me, what struck me about myself was, I think we're so, like you said, we're so used to negativity. I think we choose it a lot of the time.
You respond as though you're going to get it anyway, because that's all you get.
And that can be in anything, man. I think of myself, I love music. And, I may get in my car to go, go somewhere, and why is it that I don't think to listen to Christian music, but I would rather listen to Deftones or, I would rather listen to, I don't know, something, it's sad.
Do you think we glorify being sad, almost like a punishment? We want to feel sad? Because that's a good point. We used to talk about this with you a lot. You would listen to this music, okay? And we used to have actual real talks about this.
Yes.
Because because you are a music connoisseur. People don't know that. You love music.
I love it.
And, yep. But you used to listen to some like such depressing music, and I think there was a time you even admitted you're like, this could be affecting me.
Yeah, I did. I got to a place where I was like, man, I don't know. Like, that's something that I think I have to be careful with even now. Like, I gotta check myself before I wreck myself. But
Nice.
Yes. So yeah, dude, it's a weird thing, and like I think the reason why that hit me is because like I still listen to Christian music, but still not nearly as much as I listen to, that stuff. And like it makes me wonder, like why am I so like why does this stuff hit me so much more than Christian music? It's weird. And like,
Dude, maybe I don't know, man. Because yeah.
And that can be like for me. I'm just talking about music, but that can be any other parts of life.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
it could be movie, like certain movies.
Yes, and like we choose negativity sometimes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Why?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I meant to tell you this. So the other day I was listening to music. Like typically I only listen to music if it's like worship or I'm working out.
Yeah.
I don't, you know me. You'll sit around literally for hours and listen to music.
Oh, yeah.
That's not me.
I actually missed that. I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah, I don't do that. And I figured out why. I think we are more similar than you think. Because I am so moved by music that if I listen to music that is sad, I will legitimately be like, everything is meaningless. It is such a powerful thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was a cool day, and I'm just thankful for you guys too. You're my brothers and sisters in Christ. Those of you that, and you encourage us. And I know you probably don't think your little, your comments even and we see them, and they just bring us so much joy.
Absolutely.
And I hope that we do that to you
time.
guys too. I hope you know that we love you. I hope you know that. I know we can share our tough moments, but we do that so you can see we're being real. But
that's right.
Man, there's so much good too in following Jesus.
It's endless, man.
There's so much joy, and. Yeah, so I'm just thankful. Good. It was a good day yesterday.
Absolutely.
In that regard. Tough and others. So, all right. Well, I guess we'll dive into some questions.
Sure, let's do it.
Hey, I cannot speak today.
Me either. It's all right.
So, one of you guys know, intern Clint told us right before we filmed that it was important for us to let you know what's coming up.
That's right.
We are going to be hitting the podcast scene.
That's right.
Real talk. Previous episodes are going to be loaded up.
Yep.
Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it's this week or early next week.
Dude, it's got to be this week.
So there'll be 5 episodes of in a podcast format uploaded. We've just have some different samples. We're not putting all. We may all put all 52 up someday.
Yeah,
but the plan is to put those up and then keep you up to date as we go.
That's right. We're starting at 40.
So we plan on being on all major podcast platforms. Yeah.
That's right.
So we'll keep you updated. But hey, I know a lot of you have asked about that. A lot of you drive and listen to podcasts. It's easier. You can download them. So get ready for that. Real Talk podcast coming soon.
It's going to be crazy.
I'm excited.
I'm super excited.
I'm even more.
I'm the most.
Dang it. All right, here we go. Questions, comments, concerns.
Well, I have some comments, maybe a couple questions, a little concern.
I'll try to go here. I'm going to ask intern, how we doing? He'll give us, we good on time, or we need to cut this? Don't say it. Just give us the sign. We have time for 2? 20. Oh, we got time. About 28 minutes or so, I think. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got at least 12 minutes. All right, here we go. He's like, all right. If you guys want to know, we typically try to keep it between 30 and 40 minutes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because you guys, you have short attention span. I'm just kidding. We're so. All right, I got a question here. So thank you for those who gave us topics and questions.
Yes.
Question 1.
Okay.
Wow, these all, you know what's weird?
What?
These all came in today, starting at like this morning at a.m. Here it is. Is legal, it says in parentheses, is legal smoking a sin if it's done occasionally / socially and not habitually?
No. I don't think so. I think the way I look at it is I think of like wine, for example.
Sure.
That's my go-to. I always think of like, okay, the Bible talks about people drinking wine. So it says you can drink wine, just don't be drunk off of wine. It says don't be a drunkard, all these things. Same with like, smoking. I think if you have a social cigarette here and there, I don't think it's wrong unless it's going to cause you to stumble and fall into it more. And it is addictive. So I'd definitely be careful. Preferably no, I wouldn't do it at all. I used to smoke and it was terrible. So as far as being a sin though, I don't think so.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm glad they put legal. Like, if you're not 18, you're sinning if you're smoking. Period.
Yeah.
Period. You're not following the laws of the land. Scripture says that.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, I'm gonna give you I'm weird about this. Certainly, there's no condemnation, regardless.
Right.
And I know that we all, you can compare cigarette to any other thing, addicting thing. I know people say,
Sure.
what about caffeine? It's true. Caffeine's
Yeah.
addicting too.
Yeah.
Not the same. So let's not, it's not.
No, not the same.
Here's what I would say. Scripture says that our body is a temple, though.
Mm-hmm.
And how are we taking care of that? And, even gluttony is a sin in the sense of like, just not taking care of ourselves, eating and everything to excess.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even a weight thing. It's just that idea of going to things other than God for satisfaction. I think that's the heart of a lot of things. So this question is tough because I never want to condemn anyone. And I know even in our church, we have people that feel a lot of shame from the fact that they smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, a couple dear friends of mine, I didn't even know they smoked because they felt so ashamed to even tell me in our church family who had smoked previously, and then started to come in. So what I would tell you is this. Let's start with, is it good for you? Are you running to it instead of God? That's a question. I think it's more of a heart issue. Like, I know some people who, when they're stressed, anxious, instead of going to prayer, they go to a cigarette. You see what I'm saying?
That's really good.
So if that's the case, then yeah, man, it's this is kind of getting subtle, but it's replacing, in a weird way, it almost becomes idolatry, right? Like,
yes.
I'm going to this to give me peace.
I love that example, yes, because instead of saying like, oh, I'm having a stressful day, let's pray to God, it's like, no, I'm going to go get a cigarette.
I know a guy right now, we both know a guy that does this all the time.
That makes
and will
sense.
tell us the reason he smokes is that reason. So, in the sense of, is God up there, are you going to hell? Of course, first of all, I hate even saying that because that wouldn't send you to hell, right? What sends you to hell is not knowing Jesus Christ and the effects of all of your sin in your life without Him. So yeah, I guess that's my answer. I think it's a person-to-person thing. I do think people need to be obedient to the Spirit. If the Spirit's telling you not to. I also would say, like AJ, why in today's age, I'm going to be real with you, why would you ever smoke?
Yeah,
when
we
know what it does to you.
It's not good.
I mean, just the health benefits. Why it's poisoning yourself. So I say, why start? If you've already started,
Sure.
I get it.
Right.
But like if you were to start today, that makes no
Yeah,
sense.
don't even start. Like, I mean, the long-term effects of it's not even.
Well, look how much changed in your life when you stopped.
Oh, absolutely. But even now, I still have lingering effects. Like, I still think to this day, like, because I know we're very active. Like, I still, like, there'll be times where I'm running or we get done doing something, my lungs hurt, man. They hurt and burn, like, and I think it's probably from smoking, man. Like,
yeah. The other thing I would say is I know, you should never use your freedom, as Paul says, in a way that would cause your brother or sister to sin.
Yeah.
So let me give you an example. Say I do drink wine.
Yeah.
And I'm going to my dear sister or brother in the church's house for dinner, and I invite them over to dinner. This is more likely. And I know that they're very much against alcohol. I know that maybe they had parents that are alcoholics, whatever.
Right.
I'm not going to open a beer and drink in front of them, even though I have the freedom to do that, because it would cause them to stumble, cause them pain, cause them issues.
Right.
If you have someone, I know of a married couple where this has become a huge issue. The husband is very much against his wife smoking, right? And this is literally causing marital issues on both sides, and it comes down to cigarettes. So to me, why would you continue to do that, other than pride, right? Because nobody's going to tell me what to do, that kind of thing. So hopefully, just a dialogue. You're always welcome to talk to us below.
Yes. Oddly enough, I think I told you this the other day, but I think they raised the smoking age to 21 also.
Which is crazy.
I think they did. I don't know if that's just for Indiana or if that's national. Oh, only Indiana.
Really?
Intern Clint saying Indiana.
All right. Moving on to second question.
All right.
How do I know if I'm... Why does my voice do that? How do I know if I'm too sensitive? Sometimes I feel like I'm too sensitive / easily hurt, but I used to be super hard-hearted and not gentle. What's the line between gentle / open-hearted and too easily offended?
So, I think that this is a great... So whoever asked this question, what I would do first thing I do is I'd ask others what they think, but you'd have to go to people who are honest and say, how do you feel when you're around me?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like you have to walk on eggshells around me, or do you feel like you can be you? And the reason why I would do that is because it's very hard to measure that yourself, I think. I think you have to lean on others to tell you if they can, if they have to walk on those eggshells. Because if they do, then it's exhausting to be around you.
Yes.
I think there is a fine line, because obviously, like, you don't want to get hurt. I get that, but if it's something, I'm trying to think of an example, because I know we've talked about pain before, and pain is subjective, and people feel things. Like, I get that, but if you know people and you know their hearts, but say you can't take a joke, for example, or like, clearly it's a joke, but you still cannot, like you can't get through the idea of it being a joke, and it's serious and it hurts you. Like, I think you got to examine yourself and realize like why is that, and dig deep into it, and then take steps to heal, because that can be exhausting for people, especially if you know the people. Like, if you've been around people for a while, and like, I know these people's hearts, I know they're genuine, I know that they like to joke around or whatever it may be, I feel like you should be able to, know the difference, and even if you do hurt, like, being able to push through that, I guess.
Yeah, the one thing that's interesting about this question is, like, why are the only two options being easily offended or hard-hearted?
Yes.
I don't think those are your only two options.
No.
So it sounds like thank you for being honest, by the way. You've bought into this lie that either I don't care about anything, or I get hurt all the time and offended all the time, right? And I get that to a degree, that feeling, but that isn't true. So even sensitive / being easily offended, I don't think those are the same thing. So it sounds like you're kind of torn between being too, quote, tender-hearted in your mind because things bother you, / being hard-hearted and not caring. So it in a weird way, it feels like this person's, the choice in their mind they have is, I carry the hurt or I put the hurt on others. Making sense? Because if I'm hard-hearted, then who do I end up hurting other people? So either I get hurt or I hurt others, and that's the only option I have.
Right.
I don't think that's the case. I think that, when it comes to people hurting you, one, I think you should assume the best of people. Try to. I'm not always good at this, but you should.
Yeah.
Especially if you're close to people. So if I'm close to you, and you on a daily basis you hurt me, I always tell people this: I don't have to bring up every little thing that happens in a day, right? Like, if you step on my toe, I don't be like, "Hey man, you stepped on my toe." What?
Right.
I think we need to slow down. And to me, I try not to bring something up unless I can feel that it's creating bitterness or creating, hard-heartedness, or in me, or all those kinds of things. So a lot of times when someone says too sensitive, what they're really saying is, I want the whole world to guess what I'm thinking and feeling all the time and respond to me the perfect way.
That's right. Yep. And
you
that's
can't
not possible.
do that. So where's the line? I would say just love people. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love keeps no record of wrongs.
That's right.
Experience 13. So when something happens, ask yourself, okay, if it were me and it's AJ, okay, AJ hurt me. Would he intentionally hurt me in this case? No, he probably didn't. Like, if I don't tell him this, will it end up causing an issue in our relationship? No. Well, then I don't need to say we move on. I just assume he did.
Yes.
If it did, then I come up to him and I say, hey, this hurt. He explains it, and I believe him.
That's right.
Because a lot of times what leads to long-term hurt is, this is so common too. We'll go up to people or share it with them. They'll tell us, and we don't believe them.
Yes.
Like, we think it's something else.
Well, yeah, because I think people tend to create what they want to hear.
Yes, and that's all they'll accept.
Yes.
Is if you... So, I come up to you and I say, hey, man, you hit my toe with the door.
That's right.
And you're like, I didn't mean to do it, man. I'm sorry. I was in a hurry. And I was like, yeah, but why'd you really do it? And I'm like, you were clearly mad at me yesterday. So do you think it's possible that you did that because you're mad at me?
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, man. And before you know it, it's this huge ordeal.
It's blown up even bigger. Right. That's good. I like that.
I don't know. I hope that helped you guys.
Absolutely.
Here we go. Moving on. What are your thoughts, folks, while I'm looking?
Thoughts.
What are we at? Oh, okay. What, really? Only 2 minutes? Oh. He goes, we'll do one more here.
All right.
And then we have a lot of cool ones to talk about the other week. Romans 5:18 and 19 is often used as a defense of, quote, universalism. The idea, and this person explains what that is, the idea that all people will be saved in the end. Can you explain the correct way to interpret this verse? Now, I told you we don't prepare ahead of time, but I did at least mark the verse so that we could. This Bible is my study Bible. It's very old. So, in this section in chapter 5, Paul's talking about grace, the idea of sin, what Jesus accomplished. So the verse in question is this, 18:19. So then, as through one trespass there is condemnation for everyone, so also through one righteous act there is life-giving justification for everyone. For just as though through one man's obedience the many were made sinners, so also through the one man's obedience the many will be made righteous. So in the one man, they're talking about the one man's trespass, or the one man's disobedience.
Right.
They're referring to Adam.
Okay.
Essentially, Adam sinned, and it affected all of us, right?
Right.
And then he says, but just like that, Christ's obedience then saves the many, right?
That's awesome.
The many will be made righteous. So the Universalists say, hey, because we didn't have anything to do with what Adam did, that's what they claim, right? Or the idea of it. Adam's act condemned everyone. Christ's act will save everyone regardless.
Yep.
Right? That's universalism. That's even if you don't believe in it.
Right.
He unlocked the door again for everyone. The problem is that it's not taking the context of the previous verses in. Okay? So starting in verse 12, he says, therefore, just as sin entered through one man and death through sin, in this way death spread to all men because all sin. So he said, listen, he's explaining what happened. Our Father, which by the way, we do it too. So that's.
Oh, yeah.
But I always say we, because Adam did it, but we do it too. He disobeyed, and sin entered like a disease into this world. We see it everywhere, right? It's inside of us. Even if we fix one bad thing we do, we have this part inside of us that is corrupt. It's diseased, okay? Then he goes on to explain more. But then in verse 15, he says, the gift is not like the trespass. Now he's comparing it to Jesus. I love this, by the way. For if by the one man's trespass the many died, by Adam's sin everyone died, how much more will the grace of God and the gift overflow to the many by the grace of the one man, Jesus Christ? Same thing, right? He's explaining to them the idea of, listen, if God punished all of us because of Adam's sin, how much more will he give us grace through one man's obedience, right? It's going to spread. And he says the gift is not like the one man's sin, because from one sin came the judgment resulting in condemnation. But from many trespasses came the gift resulting in justification. He says, listen, but the gift's even better, because one man's sin caused a lot of we all sin, all these bad things.
Right.
Well, Jesus takes all these bad things and filters it through him, right? So it reverses it. So it's like, it's different in the sense that he's having to make up for all of the world's mistakes.
That's right.
And then he goes on and says, since by the one man's trespass, death reigned through that one man, how much more will those who receive, ready, the overflow of grace and the gift of righteousness reign in life through the one man, Jesus Christ. If taken in the context of the entire chapter, by the way.
Yeah.
The entire book and the entire chapter. He's saying that in Christ, all of those trespasses are forgiven. That we have access to that. Not everyone will be saved because Christ is still the way through the salvation. We have to choose to reverse the decision of Adam and put our faith in God again, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the proper interpretation is this specific verse is, he's just saying that he's making the correlation between one man, first Adam, made a mistake, rejected God and condemned everyone.
Yes.
One man, God, right? Obeyed God, and because of that, everyone gets to be saved. And he's making that correlation between the two, that God sort of reversed it, right, in his way, and
he gave us another chance.
Gave us a chance, but it's through Christ. How do I know that? Because it's in multiple places, including Romans chapter 8. He says, "Now if Christ is in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life." That's Romans 8:10. He also says up above. Sorry, I'm trying to find the exact. All those led by the Spirit are God's sons. It essentially, I hope I'm rambling, but long story short, it points to Jesus as the way that we get to be saved.
That's right.
So we still have to choose to put our faith in God.
Yes.
Through Jesus Christ. I hope that makes sense.
It's gifted to those who want it.
Yeah, and who put their faith in. Absolutely. So, and then even in chapter 10, Romans, same book, chapter 10, he says, this is the message, this is starting in verse 8, or in verse 8, this is the message of faith that we proclaim. If you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord. If you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. So you can't take that one verse in chapter 5 and say, well, this means everyone's saved, when right here in the same book in chapter 10, it's saying you have to confess with your lip Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised from the dead, you will be saved. With the heart one believes, resulting in righteousness. With the mouth one confesses, resulting in salvation. Make sense?
Yep.
Hopefully. See, that's the problem. We got to answer those deep ones, scriptural ones, earlier on when I'm not rushed.
That's good.
Hey, I hope that helped. If it didn't make sense, put a comment below and we'll tackle it next time more in depth. Because I know I talked about this fast. I talked really fast. You got anything to say?
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like you said, drop some comments below. Share this video, please. The more people that reach this, the more they get to hear about Jesus, and that's what this is all about. So, in the comments, like I said, drop ones. The blooper reel. Make sure if you guys want to see the blooper reel, drop the vid. And then also, like Todd just mentioned, if you guys want that question talked about more in depth with more time, we can go into it next week. Thank you guys so much, and I love you.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. I don't really think other just share the video. Join us this Thursday at 9 p.m. for Real Talk Live.
Yes.
And we'll be here next week, hopefully, with Real Talk Web Series episode 53.
53.
Other than that, we hope you guys have a great day and truly God bless you.